yeah, it was that day, and I kind of was ready. I packed and sent out all my things, like almost all of them, 3 weeks before the actual date. It was my birthday, and only thing which I needed, wait for everybody to go to work so I could leave home for good. Eventually everybody left and it was just me and my mom, and she asked me why I still was home, because I had to leave home at 8 a.m. because I was teaching at summer camp. Well, I said that day I supposed to start a bit later, and she said okay, and she was about to leave. And that moment I understood that it's probably the last time when I'm gonna see my mom, and that I need to give her a hug. Well, I needed to do it somehow, to not be suspicious, you know. Do not make her think that something wrong. I couldn't give her a kiss, I could give her just a hug. So I pretended being silly, you know. Oh, you're leaving. Oh, come and give me a hug. Well, so I give her a hug, and it wasn't even proper hug, you know. It was just a silly quick hug, but at least I did that. And yeah, she left, and I just closed the door behind her and cried. But I couldn't stay home longer because somebody could came back, and I couldn't risk my 4 years plan, and I couldn't let my emotions take control over me. So I dried my tears and I got my bag and I left for good. I took a tram and I went to my friend's place. She was kind, she let me stay in her place, and originally my plan was to leave the town, to move to another town, to another city actually, but things changed and I stayed with my friend in the same town, but it was just the other side of the town. Well, till 6 p.m. I was chilling, enjoying my freedom, and I wasn't panicking or feeling bad about what I did. And it was around 6-7 p.m. and I wasn't allowed to be outside by that time, and I knew that I probably got lots of missed calls from my mom and dad. So I turned on my phone to, you know, enjoy my freedom. And I turned on the phone back and I was right. I had lots of missed calls from my mom and dad, and I knew that they're gonna call me again. So I was waiting for that call, and I thought that they might already see the letter I left on the table. Yeah, I left a letter where I explained the reason why I left, kinda. So, and yeah, I got a call from my mom, and I thought that it would be easier to tell my mom that I'm not coming back rather than my dad. I picked up the phone, and it was actually my dad calling me from my mom's phone. And he asked me, he said, where are you and when you're coming back? And I needed to take responsibility for what I did, and I said that I'm not coming back, and he needs to find a letter I left on the table. And I hung up. So I turned off the phone, and that night I had really high fever. Well, you probably want to know what that letter was saying. I'll tell you what. The letter was actually a lie. I needed to make up a story which would stop my family chasing me down, and I made up one. I said that I left home with a guy. I couldn't say that I left home by myself because I become automatically a prostitute. Because in my culture, country, we women can't exist without a man. It's what men believe, what they think. And they do not believe that we can stand on our own feet. And if we do it in a haram way, you know. And yeah, I had to say that I left with a man because, again, in my culture there is a stupid thing. It's called a bride kidnapping. Sometimes it's a mutual agreement action, but most of the time it's not, and girls suffer from that. And it's actually what my parents did. They loved each other, but their family were against their marriage, and my dad kidnapped my mom, but it was with her agreement, so it's basically not kidnapping. They ran away together. So when the couple ran away together, or the man kidnaps her, they must have sex. Because when she has sex, her family don't accept her back because she's been used. And even if they don't have sex, the idea that she ran away with a man is ruining the reputation of the family, and they don't want her back, and nobody will believe that she's still virgin. Well, her family eventually will accept her back, maybe months, years later, especially if she gets pregnant, because they want to see their grandchild, and they forgive her. Well, I couldn't let it happen because I didn't actually have any guy who I left with. It was just a made up story, so I needed to make sure that the person who I made up as my partner will not be accepted by my family. And that's why I said in my letter that I left with a Russian guy. You get in there? Russian, he's Christian, he's supposed to accept Islam in order to marry me, but since he's not doing that, he can't be with me, I can't be with him. But since I am with him, my family will not accept me back because I betrayed the family, the religion, and so on. Sounds like a good plan, innit? But it wasn't enough for my family. They wanted me back for some reason, and a few days later I left home. I got a message from the police officer, and